Hey there, curious minds, and welcome to the first episode of Brewed and Bewildered, your go to place for all things strange, spooky, and downright unexplained. I'm your host, Jess, and whether you're sipping on your morning coffee, taking a break at lunch, or just in the mood for some mystery, you're in the right spot. Each week, we'll dive into chilling true crime cases, mind boggling paranormal events, cults, conspiracies, and the weirdest happenings that defy logic. In these short episodes, we'll brew up some unsettling stories to keep you questioning everything you thought you knew. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's get bewildered. On March 8th, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport, bound for Beijing Capital International Airport. It was a routine flight 227 passengers, 12 crew members. None of them knew they would never reach their destination. The flight was expected to take about 6 hours. But in just 38 minutes, Flight 370's communication system suddenly went silent. Radar tracking vanished, and then it was gone. But that's just the beginning of the mystery. Let's walk through the facts. At 1:19 a.m. local time, the aircraft was flying at 35,000 feet over the South China Sea. The pilots, Captain Zahari Shah and First Officer Farik Abdul Hamid, communicated with air traffic control, confirming their position, routine checks, and nothing seemed amiss. They were cleared for their next waypoint. But shortly after that, just 38 minutes into the flight, the aircraft suddenly dropped off radar screens. One final communication was sent. Good night, Malaysian 370. And then silence. Around 1:21 a.m., radar from a military base in Malaysia showed flight MH370 made a sharp left turn, veering off course. It wasn't a simple mistake, it was deliberate. And then, for the next 7 hours, the plane's transponder was shut off, but the plane didn't vanish into thin air. What followed was a series of satellite pings, data exchanges between the plane and a satellite ground station, suggesting that the plane had flown for hours, changing direction multiple times. But where was it going? A massive multinational search covered thousands of miles of ocean, initially focusing on the South China Sea. But as time passed, investigators shifted their focus to the Indian Sea, far off the plane's planned route. Despite scouring vast areas, no wreckage was found for over a year. But then in 2015, a wing flaperin was discovered on Reunion Island in the Indian Ocean, over 1,000 miles from where the plane was last tracked. The discovery confirmed MH370 had crashed, but still, no answers. Why did it change course? What caused it to disappear? Many theories began to emerge almost immediately. Let's look at some of the most prominent ones. Theory number one, the hijacking theory. Could the plane have been hijacked? Some believe that a well coordinated hijacking could explain the sharp deviation from the flight path. Perhaps the plane was taken to a remote location for reasons we'll never fully understand. The idea of terrorism or a politically motivated hijacking has been considered, but no group ever claimed responsibility. Still, some argue the hijackers may have been trying to avoid detection. Theory number two, the pilot involvement theory. What if the pilot or the co pilot were involved? Captain Zahari Shah was a highly experienced pilot with over 18,000 flying hours, and there were reports of personal issues, including a possible political stance which might have influenced his actions. Some speculate that the pilot may have deliberately diverted the plane, taking it off course and eventually crashing it into the ocean. What's even more unsettling? Investigators found evidence of flight simulations on Shah's personal flight simulator at home, some suggesting a path to the southern Indian Ocean, the very area where the plane was presumed to have crashed. But was it a plan or a coincidence? Now, there's theory number 3, the mechanical failure theory. Could it have been a catastrophic mechanical failure? Something went wrong on board that caused the plane to go off course and ultimately crash. While the plane was relatively new, only 11 years old at the time, and there was no clear evidence of major mechanical failure, some suggest that an undetected problem could have caused the pilots to lose control. Theory number 4, the unsolvable unknown. But here's the one that lingers, the one that leaves everyone unsettled. What if we'll never know what happened? What if flight MH370 was the victim of something beyond our understanding? Could there be a more sinister, even paranormal explanation? Theories have surfaced suggesting everything from a sudden mysterious natural phenomenon like a magnetic anomaly to something more bizarre, extraterrestrial involvement. While these ideas seem far fetched, there's something unsettling about how little we truly know. After years of searching, we're still left with only fragments, pieces of wreckage scattered across the ocean, and more questions than answers. As of today, the disappearance of MH370 remains one of the greatest aviation mysteries in history. But there's a harsh reality we must face. The endless stretch of the Indian Ocean acts like a vast, mysterious void, consuming the answers and holding them captive. And perhaps we'll never uncover the full story unless something shifts. Something that finally uncovers the truth behind the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. And that, my friends, is the mystery of Flight 370, a story that remains, as of now, unsolved, and a mystery that may haunt us for years to come. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the unknown. I'm your host, Jess, and you've been listening to Brewed and Bewildered. Until next time, keep your eyes open because the world is full of mysteries waiting to be uncovered. Stay bewildered.